on 44th and Paradise.
Okay.
The seller wants to net 155. I have an offer from a wholesale buyer. He just needs to change some verbiage around the earnest money deposit. So if he gets back to me, we may take it. I'm gonna send an e-blast again though today just to see if we get any more feedback on it. I'll get you guys the address here real quick.
All right. It's pretty much 5 after. Anybody else have any good news they want to talk about? Things that are happening?
We're still waiting on Iridis Capital. They still haven't made a decision. I guess the reason for that is the guy on their legal team that needs to make the decision is on vacation. So at least that's not dead in the water.
Okay.
Then I met with an OpCity person last night for a rental, and hopefully we'll get the application or all set up and done. So hopefully my first OpCity closing will happen shortly.
Nice. Congratulations. They'll get you out of OpCity jail.
I hope so. I snoozed it for like a month because the people on OpCity are just crazy, I think.
Yeah. Almost as crazy to Realtor.com lead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
Good. How's everybody this morning?
Good.
Fantastic.
Well.
Another Monday.
Got any good news to share with everybody else, Rob?
Nothing really. May have another possible rental close today from OpCity, so I'm hoping to hear back on an application. But that, and then want to talk to you about writing another offer with an escalation clause.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Things are busy. So
sounds like. Yeah, after the meeting,
Yeah.
let me know. We can stay on or we can talk over the phone.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, anybody else? Nothing else, and I'll just kind of jump into the market data. So this week, a little bit different. Things are going up on down on active listings. Things going under contract are going up. We'll see that a little later. Things are just kind of, the contract ratio is going through the roof still. Days on market still relatively low. We got half a month supply in most price ranges and areas, but you'll see later also if you're around the 200,000 to 300,000, it's even more crazy. Maybe week and a half worth of inventory, which is unheard of. Here we are on the Cromford Market Index for some of the major cities. We're still dipping slowly down, mostly because demand, we'll see later, kind of is tapering off a little. Probably following that supply is down to anemic levels. Here we are kind of on our demand and supply. You can see kind of demand is still kind of tapering off, which is good. We should hopefully get down to 100, which is kind of normal. The biggest problem, of course, right now is that our supply is almost rock bottom. Kind of the way to show this another way is our contract ratios. This is how many people are getting under contract versus how many listings we have coming out of the market. As you can see, we just kind of went crazy over 2,000, and here we are 2021, 281 contract ratio for the Valley, which is crazy. Balance is supposed to be down here in the 60s. We're at 281.2 as of March.
Hey, Tim, remind me again on the contract ratio. What's the numerator and denominator in that?
So it's a number of sales over that are pending, closed and are pending over the number of listings that came on and that are active but are not under contract.
So closed plus pending, and then what was the other part of it?
Is over number of new actives minus under contracts. So basically the number of things that are going to close or have closed this month over how much is coming into the market. And right now we have way more coming out of the market than we do coming in, which makes us into a super unique market.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
Just kind of, no worries, anytime. This is kind of an interesting little thing. We don't really look at cancels and expireds because not much is happening in that arena right now. But just for Maricopa, you can see over here, basically for 2018 and 2019, we had some cancellations, but we're basically on a trajectory to be maybe about a fifth of that this year. So expireds, pretty much nothing is going to be basically expiring this year, it seems like. Just as a kind of comparison, here we have 2000, which one was that? 2010, record year for expireds, 16,000 over the year. This is just total sum. So you can tell this one's kind of got a very low projection for this year. Some people tell you to call up on canceled and expireds. It's going to be a little more challenging this year than it is in the past. Listing price per square foot, just on actives, just to kind of show where we are trajectory wise over the years and current year. Right now we're looking to take off year over year. This keeps going up from 2000 2001. Notice of trustee sales, everybody starts talking about when are we gonna have all these foreclosures. Well, it's not 2009 2010 anymore. We don't have thousands of them going out. We have, since basically 2014 and 15, less than 1,000 a month when it kind of stabilized. And when forbearance kicked in this year, about a year ago, next to nothing. Even conventionals that don't have to do forbearance, government's kind of been pressuring them to, give people a break. And it looks like they've been doing that. Here's what I was talking about with month supply. And unless you're looking for homes that are over $2 million, there's not very much to look for. Even at 1 million, we have kind of a record low of less than 3 months supply. Biggest challenges right now are anywhere from 200 to 300,000. Everybody's looking and nothing's there. Just kind of as a summary of what the market conditions are currently. Oh no, it's going to reset on me. Basically, it's like less than 2,000 active listings, which about this time of year we're supposed to have several thousand that carried over from the winter. Second, I'll reset it all. The crazy thing is, for the first quarter, we're not having the kind of activity that listings that we were expected to have. Not even actually closings. Sales per month are kind of at a low. They just kind of tapered off this month. Typically around March, they kind of spike up. And second quarter, of course, is just our biggest, highest selling season here in the Phoenix market. Kind of wondering how this is going to play out for the next quarter, but we'll see. It'll be interesting times. Our month-on-month over projections for average gross sales price per square foot. Can't get that one out today. It's finally topped over $200 a square foot, all of Maricopa for under $1 million. That's the first time it's happened in I don't know how long, ever probably. Just as another more flashier way of summarizing it, our active listings are way down. Our under contracts is only slightly up. It seems to be that people are starting off on the demand. Not being able to find things is probably a factor. Because spring selling season, we should be up. Typically, these are kind of a higher number. Two things I kind of wanted to show you guys that aren't kind of the normal. Found this through Investment Tracker, Investopedia. But this is basically a city economic recovery tracker. This is what we were normal before the pandemic hit. And this is kind of where we were at the dip. And this is kind of where we are in 2021. We're kind of up a bit, especially compared to other major cities, but not quite where we were 100% yet. In comparison to other major cities, we're basically 75% recovered for economic recovery, according to this tracker, than all the other major cities. Well ahead of everyone else. I thought that was pretty awesome. Month over month, we also lead everybody else. And that's pretty much it for the market day. Oh, one other fun screenshot. If anybody's been following the Ever Given being stuck in the Suez Canal, this is kind of the chaos that's kind of created. Everybody's backed up, can't get through. It's going to take, they don't know, weeks, even though now they think they've got it loosened up. So transports of electronics, toilet paper, and other valuables are going to be delayed. So if you're not up on your toilet paper supply, you might go out and buy some. Before I go on to anything else, anybody got any questions or concerns about the market data?
No, I would just say, the part of being in real estate is it's very entrepreneurial, and we have to have the flexibility at these different inflection points to be able to adjust our business and to stay productive. Some of that's our marketing strategy. So if anybody on the phone wants to go over anything, or if there's anything I can assist with, feel free to reach out to me. My line's always open, and love to talk marketing strategy and business. So definitely use me as a resource, whether you're, have tons of clients in your pipeline, or you're struggling. Just feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help.
Thanks. Anything else for anybody? All right. So for this week, quick tip, help you guys out with your business. I go into, since we're always talking about if you can get the listings, we can sell them. Here's kind of a quick tip, 9 tip ways to try and get more selling listings and leads into your pipeline to get more listings. The nice thing about listings is once you get them in there, you can create even more relationships with buyers. Helps with all your other marketing to show that you're out there and somebody in your farm area. Especially 2 ways to become your digital mayor in your local farm area. Nextdoor is a great one because over 75% of the people in Nextdoor are homeowners. So they're out there on the social media every day talking about lost dogs, lost cats, things they want to sell for their home, trying to find people for rentals, but also they're asking for people for recommendations. Typically it's for vendors, but also every once in a while somebody's like, hey, anybody know a good realtor? Another one that's come into the market is called Parkbench. The interesting thing about them is they're kind of like a Nextdoor, but the fun thing about them is they only let one real estate agent in per area. And their big claim to fame is that they will get you in front of the people in your neighborhood or your farm area, but also help you build relationships with small businesses in that area, and also get tied into the community through volunteer work or other organizations that you can become of and get exposure through that way. So definitely something to check out. Expertise, sharing it with local mags and newspapers. A lot of people think print is dead, but the funny thing is magazines, newspapers, of course, have all gone digital, especially now the last few years. They're looking for content. So if you can hit them up, you become the go-to person in that area. If they interview you or talk to you, then you also instantly get credibility of being an expert or someone to go to and ask for those things. A couple of the good popular ones, Best Place to Live, of course, obviously a good one. There's local ones for the individual cities, Scottsdale, Phoenix, Tempe, you name it. Another good one that most people don't think of is Homes and Land. They're a good place if you got, land you want to sell or buy, but they also do normal traditional residential as well. They're a great idea. Get out there and meet some people in your farm area. I know door knocking gets a hard rap, especially now with the pandemic. People are freaked out, don't want you coming near their door. There is a way to still go out and door knock. If you have a reason to go to their door, that's one good reason is having an open house. If you want to pre-market it, we can definitely help you get the digital marketing aspects of that out. But another great way is what we used to do is they called the 10 and 20, which is you went to the house 10 doors down each way and then 20 doors on the opposite side of the street. Go and door knock. Just say, hey, I'm in the area. I'm a local agent. Just letting you know there's going to be open house across the street. If you want to check us out, get a kind of tour. Everybody will wear masks, etc., and we'll be safe. Same thing for sell by owners. Knock on those doors. Expireds, canceled, foreclosures. If you can find them. The last tip was also you can pair that up with social or community purposes. Organizations we're talking about, you can join, get some more extra exposure. Another reason beyond knocking on the door that's not related to real estate, you can maybe eventually get them talking to you. Then, of course, the next one, like I just mentioned, local organizations to meet new people. These are great. I didn't even know we had a Phoenix Quaker meeting straight. Funny. Interesting thing, my wife actually used to be quasi-Quaker. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but she was. She'd probably be interested to hear that we have one here. The funny thing about the meeting in Tempe, of course, everybody was wearing masks on all their digital marketing media, so I threw that one in as well. But the good nice thing about this is you can meet new people and also introduce those people that are struggling or new to the area to meet others. They always, if you believe in the karma thing, if the people will pay it back forward or pay it back to you, if they find out you're an agent, like, hey, there was this really nice person that introduced me to blah blah and made me feel welcome. Comes time to decide buy, sell, or rent, they may think of you. Another great way is to drive traffic to your landing pages that do home valuations. Offer a home valuation, market data. People are out there researching like more so now than they ever have in the past. So if they're out there looking for that data, hopefully eventually they can land on your page. If they find out you through SEO or that you're a local neighborhood expert, they might get to your page. You can talk to us or the tech team trying to help streamline that, or there's also the tech solutions we talk to you about. If you don't want to do the work yourself, work in your sphere, get more leads. The worst thing ever is to be talking to your friend, all of a sudden they're telling you, hey, I sold my house, I bought a house, it's awesome. You're like, wow, that's amazing. Why didn't you talk to me? I'm an agent, right? They're like, oh yeah. So if you don't stay in touch and put yourself in front of them every once in a while, social media, texts, calls, whatever it is, they tend to forget, unfortunately. If you're not top of mind, they won't be the number one person that they call. There's ways to set up regular communication with them without being annoying. Just reaching out about various things that are happening in the market or happening in the news even. If you want to talk to them and say, hey, just touching base. My favorite one is always, I love text signature lines. People are like, that's so weird. Everybody that sees your text sees that you're an agent. I'm like, yeah, exactly. They always remember. And they're like, oh yeah, you are an agent. You're a broker now. Helping distressed homeowners. This is one of my favorite ones. Unfortunately, there's not that many, but there are coming back. The forbearance that went out last year, they could do 6 months and then they could get an extension for 3 and 3 for a full year. So those are now coming due. Reaching out to those folks that are in foreclosure, there's ways to find the forbearance. We can talk to the title companies and they can explain that more to you. There's a lot of people going to start getting into a bind. We can also offer them if they need to sell quickly. We got the call cash offers through our Asher Kime Capital Ventures. That's another thing to have in your back pocket. Also, the extensions, you can talk to them about doing a workaround or workout, loan mods, another good way, refinancing if they got more equity in their home. Lots of ways you can help these folks. You can talk to them, but 9 times out of 10, they basically can't either refinance or find the extra cash because they're usually typically at this point in time, they're about 6 to 12 months behind, 6 to 12 months of mortgage payments. Most people don't understand that's pretty much half their salary for that year, typically. So do they have half their salary laying around after a pandemic? Probably not. They're going to need a workaround or they're going to need to sell. Contacting for sale by owners, expireds, canceled. For sale by owners, I love talking to them. The other two, probably my least favorite. It's a tough gig, but a lot of people make a lot of good money at it. If there's an agent that dropped the ball and didn't market the house properly, it's a great way for you to come in and say, hey, I'm a local expert. I've got these great marketing team. We can totally get this house sold for you like tomorrow. We can get you an all cash offer or we can get it sold, in several days. For whatever reason, it didn't work out the last person. Maybe you would be the next person to pick it up. Ninth one, last one, working with real estate investors and house flippers. My ultimate first favorite ones. Investors are great because they don't do one transaction every 7.5 years. They usually do 1 or 2 a year, some 7 or more a year. Best way to get in with them is figure out the lingo, get into where they're going. But even the best way to do it is actually become an investor yourself. If you get into the industry, figuring out what it is to do investments. And I mean, if you're in the real estate industry, one of the things you probably should be investing in besides whatever stock market or retirement funds is probably some real estate investment. You know more about the market than the average person, so you can definitely get ahead and do well in it. Another way you can pitch yourself out to like the flippers is there's ways to pitch them about discounts. You don't have to give away all your commission, but there's a way to say volume discount if you use me, if I'm your go-to person, etc. Or just the first one, say, hey, I will do it I've done several for investors. I didn't even charge them anything on the sell side. And I worked it into the price that on the buy side, they pretty much didn't have to pay anything. They loved that. Became an instant client for life. Final thought on this, an extra bonus tip too, publishing out content out there to make you authoritative and educate your sellers. It's a good way that most people are looking out there to sell their house. They will do a lot of research online now that they can. Curb appeal, showings, pricing, lots of stuff that they're looking into. If they're looking for that information, they should be reading yours, right? If they read yours, they think you're an expert and they get that listing. And also I love the sign, so I had to throw it in there. Any questions on any of those? All right, guys, that's it for me. Is there anything we can do to help you guys with your business, or has, wants, needs, questions you got? Burning issues?
None for me.